will not be tolerated from this Georgia defense. It's not the standard that they've set. Some of it had to do with the complexion of the game, but don't tell Kirby Smart that, as he'll do everything he can to make sure this team is more than ready for the college football playoff. Let's go over to Michigan and Gene Wojciechowski.
Is my lighting good?
Yeah, you're good. Ladies and
Thanks,
gentlemen,
Laura. A lot of the
welcome
players, staff members, coaches, they've come
Is
in.
my lighting good? Yeah. My bad.
to the live reaction of us reacting to the college football playoff final top 25, mainly reacting to the top 20, top 4. See what they're going to do with TCU and Ohio State and Alabama. Welcome back. This is obviously not our regularly scheduled podcast live. We did warn you guys if you watched all the way through the last one that we might be live today, and we are last second, but it's okay. All right, so on the stream, can you hear the show in the background?
First things first, they have the selection show.
Let me turn it
out
on.
who they play in the semifinals. The team heads back to Ann Arbor later today. Jim Harbaugh
Hold on, give me a second.
and his staff go out recruiting. Now,
Later
let's go
today,
to Jim Latta at
Jim
Ohio
Harbaugh.
State.
Yeah, give me a second.
All right.
Staff.
Do I need to turn it down?
Yeah, what a difference a week makes.
No, it sounded straight.
This program was reeling after a devastating loss to Michigan. I'm told that lingers.
All right, I'm gonna ask you, what do you think's gonna happen?
Until about Thursday.
What I think's gonna happen?
Yeah, what do you think should happen?
Friday night, as guys were watching the
I think
Pac-12
it should
championship
basically say
game,
the
they
same
realized
except put Ohio State
there
at 4.
may be an opportunity here. They started
Okay,
to
so
don't-
you don't
I
think
don't-
it should be Alabama
at the opportunity to get
after
back out on
what
the field
Georgia did to
and
LSU?
fight again. Today,
No.
players are gathered here
Uh,
at the Hayes Center. Ryan Day had his staff meeting at around 10 o'clock.
I think-
players are hanging out in the
I don't
back
think the
there.
committee's
They will
gonna do
watch
a
the college
Michigan
football
Ohio
playoff
State
announcement
first
and
round
get ready
game.
for the month ahead of them. But there is an
No,
opportunity
Georgia's
in
definitely
this
staying at
building that
1.
did not exist
Yeah,
a
I'm saying I don't
few
think
years
I
ago,
don't
and they
think
wanna
they're
make
gonna put
sure
Ohio
who
State
gets
at
the
3
opportunity
and do
to
a
play
Michigan
in the
Ohio
college
State
football playoff. They will
first
seize that
round.
Yeah.
opportunity and potentially salvage their season. Now let's go over to Chris Budden, who is standing by with TCU.
I don't think so.
Thank you, Jen. How about this? A year ago, Sonny Dykes was standing in this exact same room being introduced as the TCU head coach. And now this room is filled with the team and media.
I can't
and
imagine
fans as
being
they sit
TCU
around
right now.
waiting to see if they are in the college football
Yeah,
playoffs.
imagine.
There wasn't a
'Cause,
lot
like-
of sleep, but there is some confidence that they will be in the top 4 when you look at the resume, the strength of record. Also, when you look at what happened
Yeah,
in
that's-
2014 when TCU and Baylor were both left out of the playoff when the Big 12 did not have a championship game. They sat idle.
I feel like you
that
gotta put
weekend.
TCU in,
Sonny
though.
Dykes and
Yeah, I know. They
TCU
shouldn't be
believe
penalized for what
now
happened.
that they were in the
They-
championship game, and even with the loss, they should not be penalized.
It's hard to beat a team twice in
in that
a
And
year.
it's a top 10 team, too. It's not like Kansas State was just this, team.
Chris, I left the SEC
They're like-
championship in Atlanta Saturday evening and drove to Tuscaloosa to Nick Saban's house and had an extensive conversation
My
with
bad.
him about
I'm
all
trying
the
to
scenarios.
make a
He
post.
touched on 2 specific points. Number 1, vulnerability. What does that mean? It means how did your team lose and when did your team lose? He said the context for Alabama, as we know, they lost to Tennessee and LSU on the last play of both games.
I don't
on
think
the
there's
road
any
on
way
the last
Alabama
play
gets in.
with a quarterback that wasn't
Yeah, I don't think so either.
100%. And he said, like that.
How long
had
are it
a
gonna take to actually
substantial
start?
impact on us losing those games. So I played devil's advocate as it pertained to Tennessee. I said, where do you stand on
Marty
that?
Smith's on my
You
TV.
lost to that team.
Yeah,
He said,
he's
I don't
on
talk
mine.
about other teams. I talk about my team. My team had no
Can you
bad
still hear
losses.
mine?
Other
Do I need to
teams
turn
in
it down
this
some more?
discussion
No,
had
yours
bad
is
losses,
good.
And not only were they bad losses, they were bad losses late.
I was
in
gonna
the
say, 'cause I
season.
can't
The
hear
other
it
big
either.
point that he touched on was odds to win. He said, if we played against these other teams, would we be favored or would we be the underdog? You tell me. And if we would be favored,
Yeah,
then
I
we're
agree with you. I
probably
think
one
it
of the
should
best
be
4 teams,
Georgia,
which is
Michigan,
all
TCU,
the
Ohio
way.
State.
The last thing
Now,
that
it
I
would be
spent a
different
lot of
if
time talking
LSU
to him
won.
about was national championship
I think
potential.
Alabama's probably got a
Reese,
case
I
at 4
asked this team,
because that LSU loss isn't so bad.
Healthy Bryce Young and Will Anderson, are you national championship?
But even though they lost by
caliber?
20, LSU got
Without question,
walloped
absolutely
yesterday. It was kind of
national
embarrassing.
championship caliber. Reese?
Yeah, it was.
Marty, I don't think there's any question about that. They'd be favored against everybody with the exception of Georgia. But
So here they got the point. Look, you see the point. You see the point differential.
You know,
For anybody wondering why Tennessee's not got a case, it's because they're minus 39.
insisted on Tennessee being included in this. You also have to factor in 2 things: the just annihilation at the hands of South Carolina and the injury to Hendon Hooker. But they beat Alabama.
All right, I will be
Same record
right
as
back.
Alabama. They didn't make the conference championship
All right.
game either. So, but I think it's pretty clear that we're going to wind up with TCU and Ohio State. Bracket's empty right now. The most powerful man in college football is a man called Zach Feldman. He is our graphics operator. Coaches, he'll fill it all out. Zach's going to get it done. Coaches making their cases.
Your whole season's gone, and all of a sudden you start to build hope, and then you start to see the opportunity where, you know, everything's right out in front of you. It's almost like a second lease on life.
How did you lose? Losing 2 games by 4 points on the last play of the game in tough environment in the SEC on the road are not bad losses. And just because they're one
Saban speaking facts.
a 2-loss team, they show their vulnerability as a team
I
when
can't
you
hear
have
him.
a bad loss.
I think we're certainly deserving. I think the league is one of the best leagues in the country to go through.
Oh, you know what I could do?
Certainly, we ought to get in. I don't think we should be punished for coming to the Big 12 championship game.
I could just cut the stream on my phone and put it on my AirPods.
Good.
Good idea, Tanner.
That's what I'm here for. I'm sorry if the stream here isn't like great quality. We're kind of just talking back and forth. We're both just kind of waiting on the
Trash.
the
We can't.
the show to start.
And they're now.
Don't deserve to win. What?
But we appreciate you guys tuning in. So let's just talk about the most likely scenario here, which would be Georgia versus Ohio State, the 1-4, and then Michigan versus TCU in the 2-3. 2 outstanding games, by the way. Who do you think gets out of those?
The what now? Hold on, my bad.
So the one like the most.
Oh, okay. So Georgia, TCU, and okay.
Like Georgia,
I mean, Georgia, Ohio State
versus Michigan, TCU. Who do you think wins those matchups?
I think it's Georgia and Michigan.
So we'll see a rematch from last year's semifinal in the national championship.
Probably.
Okay.
I just think those are the 2 best teams.
I think the Georgia Ohio State game is gonna be really, really, really good. Because I think everybody's turned off by Ohio State now since they lost. I still think even after their loss, I still think Ohio State has a case for being the best team in the country. Obviously, they're not, but they still have a case. I think top to bottom, they're probably the most talented. Georgia's probably the most talented, but like, there's a case. There's a case. I'm not mad at anyone who says Ohio State is their best team, because I've been saying that all season ever since they beat Notre Dame. But I think Georgia TCU will be a Michigan TCU will be a heavily favored Michigan game.
Yeah, I agree.
I think TCU has a chance to win a playoff game or even obviously the national title game, because like every game that they played, even yesterday, good Lord, that Big 12 championship game was a bloodbath. Like,
Yeah,
literally Max Duggan was bleeding.
I can also agree with Nick Saban's point that if they played TCU or Ohio State right now, who would be favored?
It'd be Alabama.
Exactly. So, I mean,
even against Michigan, I think everybody except Georgia, they'd be favored then.
Yeah,
I think if you're talking about team-wise, like all 22 guys you put on the field, I think team-wise, Alabama is clearly a top 4 team.
I agree.
It's just obviously you got to put the wins on.
Yeah. The rankings are in.
Oh, they coming. They coming. All right, I think it's time.
Sorry if I'm a little bit ahead of you.
Don't react.
Hold on, let's see. What's going on yours?
It says coming up. The rankings are coming up.
Did they just switch?
No. It's still got the times on the screen.
They're showing the trophy on mine right now.
All right, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
Okay.
Let me react. You just watch.
Yeah. Okay.
We are. This is gonna be a good day. We got the
I tried
rankings
to,
right here.
I tried to put our stream on and listen to our stream, but I didn't want to listen to you talk twice. So
That's cool. We got the Titans game at 1 right after this. We got the rankings. I'm excited, man. Excited, man.
All afternoon, a lot of interviews, a lot of talk, a lot of matchup talk.
Reese, shut up.
are they all sitting at the table now on your screen?
Yeah.
People text me like,
No, it's 1 through 4 here this year, the opening, then we'll show the rest of the top 25.
1 through 4, yeah.
1 through
The
4.
suspense is at the back.
Homer and Jesse.
Yeah.
So we're going to start at 1. It's their first year here. It's like Christmas. Again, are we going to start at 25? How are we going to do this?
You know, here's the other thing, Joey. Think about this. This is the penultimate year, next to last, that we'll have this format. One more time.
Are you watching on
Reese
like?
Davis talking about this is the next to last year for the top 4 teams. That's gonna be crazy, actually.
He just said that on mine. So yeah, we're not that far behind.
Like,
So, college football playoff rankings.
Here we go. I'm not gonna say anything though.
5G, the top seed in the college football playoff is the Georgia Bulldogs. No surprise here, as Georgia, the reigning national champion. They go back, and they're the 4th difference.
it's not surprising.
Yeah, not surprising at all. Georgia number 1.
Team that just got better as the year went on, dealt with the pressure of being the defending champs. Offense, defense gets a lot of the attention.
It should be 1 and 2 is Georgia, Michigan. It all comes down to 3 through 6.
Yeah, it should be.
1 and 2 aren't a surprise at all. Like they're not. Shouldn't be nobody
Alabama, Clemson,
worrying about that.
who previously have been number 1 seeds in the college football playoff. Now Georgia joins them at 13 or no. And number 2, we assume we're about to see Michigan here.
There they are. How about Michigan? Soft non-conference schedule to start the year, but that win against Ohio State on
Yes, Michigan is not surprising at all.
Yeah, Michigan was stamped. That 1 and 2 was stamped. I mean,
I know no surprises there. It's just 3 through 4. I'm expecting to see TCU at 3 here.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm expecting TCU 3, Ohio State 4. That's what I'm expecting, but the committee's done some wild stuff before.
They have done some wild stuff before.
That is a confident ball club.
Oh, yeah.
We know we're number 2.
They feel different, don't they, David? Don't they feel different from last year?
I think that's the big thing. You got a lot of experience last year. You were
Goodness,
happy to beat Ohio State, happy to beat them. Now you're
This
like,
anticipation is killing me.
I got some business to
J.J.
accomplish.
McCarthy said that just recently. He said that loss last year to Georgia in the semifinal, that's continuing to motivate us, and that's going to fire them up in the postseason.
Okay, just a quick note here. Georgia is going to play in Atlanta in 1 semifinal because you get the geographical preference number 1. That will place Michigan in the Fiesta Bowl in Phoenix. And the question is, will it be a rematch against Ohio State or someone else sitting at number 3? Let's have
If Alabama makes it, bro, I'm gonna riot.
Have you got 3 yet?
TCU holds his place.
Let's go, man. That's as it should. As it should.
TCU is still at 3.
As it should. TCU's in the playoff, bro. That's crazy to say.
Okay, I turned my stream off. I'm just watching on my TV. 'Cause I think my TV is more in line with yours. Because I had just showed it when you said something.
TCU's in the playoff, bro. First year head coach Sonny Dykes, they are in the playoff. That's crazy. Never in a million years would I have ever guessed something like that.
Yeah, I had Utah in there. So, who is 4? Let's find out.
It's got to be Ohio State. I'm expecting Ohio State.
It's got to be Ohio State.
It's either Clemson's got a dark horse shot.
Clemson does not have a dark.
Alabama, Ohio State. I think those are the only 3 teams that could make it.
And then lost in the championship game. So I thought it was an interesting debate.
Be a good matchup.
You know, it's really interesting, too, with Michigan and TCU. You have 2 teams making the college football playoff.
Who's 4, bro? I hate this. This is last year what we thought about with Cincinnati. It's like, are they actually going to put Cincinnati in? Or are they going to put somebody else in?
Now, TCU said that they're the 2nd team to make the playoff when unranked in the preseason. I want to posit this and build a little drama here. Ohio State, been playing the conference championship game, have the blowout loss Alabama's
I hate this.
Bro, announce it already.
I hate this. They're stalling. I hate it. Announce it.
Maybe it's Ohio State or Alabama.
If it's Alabama, I don't want it. I don't want it.
Now, or are you trying to create drama?
I just built the drama. That's what we do. It's Ohio State.
There it is. No drama.
So the Buckeyes are in, and we don't have the
As it
rematch
should have
of the
been.
Michigan
As
Ohio
it should have
State
been.
game yet. Instead,
So there it is. Georgia, Michigan, TCU, Ohio State.
fans thirst to do,
Wow.
go into SEC territory, prove a
It's funny because
point
Georgia's playing in Atlanta again.
I know.
season, and because of some scheduling
Dude,
and the
those are going to be some good games, bro. Georgia, Michigan, TCU, Ohio State, as it should have been. It's like TCU. I'm glad they didn't move TCU. They should have stayed at 3 after what USC
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm assuming 5 would be Alabama and 6 would be Clemson.
What did you say yesterday about?
Yeah, because Clemson's got a title.
They're going to be poor mouth for 3 or 4 weeks. They're going to show up, whether it's good enough or not. There's always a team that shows up
Utah has a case.
and there's
No.
nobody that should show up more disrespectful.
Yeah, they kind of do, I guess.
Than Ohio State.
It's a
Kansas
team
State
the
does
committee
too.
liked all along. They were number 2 in every college
But I don't
football
know.
draft ranking up until last week. The resume stands for itself. Impressive win against Penn State and Notre Dame.
Yeah,
And also
Ohio
the
State's got a
Nine
good
West
resume.
Walsingham, they're much more complete than they've
Like
been.
that. Like
Their
this is
defense is a lot better this year under
this
Coach
should have been.
Casey Jones.
This is like when Alabama lost on the last week to Auburn in 2017.
Wow.
Alabama's number 5, and I assume Tennessee's going to be 6.
Sorry.
Bama and Tennessee.
And Tennessee
Wow.
is now without Hendon Hooker. So what this means, and we'll get to this.
So the assumption now is we're going to get,
Alabama in the Sugar
I
Bowl
think,
against
Bama
Kansas
and
State, and Tennessee
Kansas
in the
State
Orange Bowl
in the
against Clemson later on.
Sugar Bowl, right?
Pray for Kansas State.
Losing against South Carolina.
If Bryce Young plays. If Bryce Young plays.
Win that game.
I don't expect him to, honestly.
Tennessee. Where do they go?
I think they go to the Orange Bowl against Clemson. So the Orange Bowl will literally be orange.
With Hooker
Ah.
being hurt, that might
That's
have
funny.
changed the dynamic. Might have allowed Ohio State to still be in.
They should announce that here in a second. All the bowl games and stuff. I don't know though.
That's so crazy. They had Bama and Tennessee. Bro, Tennessee.
Okay, so turns out Desmond Howard went 1 for 4 on his predictions. He did have Michigan in there.
Michigan. His national champion Texas A&M. Fortunately, couldn't make it at a 5-7 record.
My guy, hold on, time out. My guy had Baylor, Texas A&M, Pittsburgh, and Michigan.
Pittsburgh, bro. Like, this is what it should have been. This is what it should have been. Peach Bowl, Georgia, Ohio State, and then they have, what is that? The Fiesta Bowl?
Yeah.
Michigan and TCU. Now that it is set in stone, who do you think will win?
Are we doing that now?
We're going to guess. I mean,
Are we doing the pick'ems now?
we could wait. We could wait. But now that it's fresh, we can do like fresh on our mind pick'ems.
Okay, yeah. I really think it's going to be Michigan and Georgia.
But we have like a whole month until these games are played.
Yeah, we got a while. I can't wait until 2024 when they start the next week. That will be fun.
That will be a whole month of December of football.
Well, we're still going to get that with bowl games. But
Yeah, but like December madness would be kind of funny. I think there is a chance that Ohio State can beat Georgia. I don't want it to be an Ohio State Michigan
we're
rematch.
almost done with college football. That is crazy.
I know.
We're going to throw some college basketball in here.
There's a legitimate chance that it's a Georgia or a Ohio State Michigan rematch, and I don't want that at all. I wish Blake Corum was healthy.
A Michigan, Ohio State, yeah, there is a chance.
Because Ohio State is not like... Well, the last time Ohio State was 4, they won the whole thing.
So when does Heisman voting end?
I'm not sure at all.
Who's your Heisman after this weekend?
It's Caleb Williams. I don't care what happened with USC. It's Caleb Williams. It's not that hard.
You can't give it to Stetson Bennett?
Hecka knows. That's invented. No. I think that it's the three that should get invited are Duggan, Stroud, and Caleb Williams. Maybe
There's no way. There's no
maybe
way.
Corum.
Duggan, there's no way Duggan shouldn't get invited. I think there's 4 that get invited. I'm trying to look that up.
It's 3. I guarantee you it's 3. I guarantee you it's 3.
You want to bet? I bet it's 4.
I bet it's 3.
Four.
It's always been 3. When did they change? They must have just changed it.
They changed it in 2021.
That's what I'm saying. They must have just changed it. Because I always remember it being 3. That one year when like D.D. Westbrook Baker and freaking Lamar got in fight. It was D.D. Westbrook, Lamar.
So I think the obvious choices are Corum, Duggan,
Stroud, and
Stroud,
Williams.
Williams.
Well, that's what it should be. Corum's not gonna win it.
No, neither is Duggan.
They should just get the invite though. They can still tell their grandkids I got invited to lose the Heisman. Do we want to stay for the rest of the top 25? I'm kind of interested.
I mean, unless you just want to run like a 25-minute live.
No, I kind of want to stay for the rest of the top 25.
So Ohio State makes it into the field, and look, I got some pushback yesterday from Ohio State fans, and I'm going to stick with this. No team in the college football playoff era has gotten the benefit of the doubt more often than Ohio State. They're now 4-1 in decisions. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with the decisions, but they've gotten the benefit of the doubt in 14, in 16, in 20 when they only played 6 games, and now here they
This is true. Reese Davis is spitting.
What did he say?
He said Ohio State has gotten more benefit of the doubt over any other team in the college football playoff era. He said they got the benefit of the doubt in 2014, 2016, and 2020 when they only played 7 games.
Was it simply that they had 1 loss and Alabama had 2?
Yeah. When 6-0, Ohio State got in the playoff.
Yeah, and they made the national championship too. And they got like killed the national championship against Alabama.
Who else?
They got
It is kind of weird not seeing Alabama up there though.
And when they give Ohio State the benefit of the doubt, except for 2014, they've gotten killed. Like in 2016 when they had that loss to Penn State, they had no conference championship appearance because they had that loss against Penn State. Penn State got the right to play in that game over them. They still made it, and they got shut out and got like 30-piece by Clemson that year. That was the year that Clemson won it the first time. So Ohio State doesn't have a great.
So they have a new head of the committee.
I don't know.
That's that guy on the screen right there.
Oh. I guess.
Boo. I think his name's Boo. Is that what it said?
Boo Corrigan? Boo?
I believe they're giving up about 20 points a game on defense.
If we're ranking the top 4 teams in the country, like the 4 best overall teams in the country, who are we putting in?
This isn't it.
I know.
This isn't it.
Like the 4 best overall top to bottom teams in the country, who are you putting in?
Okay, I think 1 and 2 are right.
Yeah. And then I think it's Alabama, Ohio State, right?
Yeah, you could flip-flop it, honestly. I think you could go back and forth on it. But I do think I give Alabama the edge over Ohio State. But one thing Ohio State has that Alabama doesn't have is receivers. So. But Alabama has defense, and Ohio State lacks that.
Ohio State number 4 for the reasons I was just talking about with regards to.
I don't know. Ohio State's played better defense this season.
Ultimately, the right 25 as we go through this and make sure we got them.
Alabama's letting up a lot of points.
They are.
matchups and
You do got a point.
conferences and the rest of it.
Okay, so I just want to be clear. So no one in the course of this discussion ever said, let's stay away from the Michigan-Ohio State rematch, at least in the semifinals. That was never uttered in the room.
It was not
I don't know what he's
done in
saying.
the room. Again, we were looking at getting the right four.
Bro, there's no way he's telling the truth here.
What did he say?
Reese was like, so there's no way you guys ever discuss like, let's stay away from the Ohio State Michigan rematch, right? And he was like, no, that was never discussed. I was like, I'm sure they brought it up. I mean, like, we don't want to see Michigan Ohio State play again.
Not in the semifinal.
How much of an impact was margin of loss?
Because then it's like, we have a Michigan Ohio State rematch, and then we have a Georgia TCU blowout in 1-4.
Well, again, I think as you look at it in your
And we may get two blowouts anyway, but
I don't think it will. I could see the Michigan TCU game being close. I can also see it being a blowout as well. But TCU hasn't played a defense like Michigan all season. Michigan's got a top 5 defense in the country.
Yet again, taking the field goal earlier in the game makes it an 8-point game. Then they score the touchdown, get the 2-point conversion to send it into overtime. And
They're showing the
later in the game with Ohio State, Michigan,
Georgia's history in the
8-point game,
playoff.
You saw Michigan pull away, and while it's the margin was greater, it's certainly you're trying to look at the game in its entirety, and then again
Georgia
push
blew a
that forward
13-point
into
lead.
The whole body of work by the season.
All right, but one last quick question here.
Was last year the first time they made the playoffs since they made the title game in 2017?
In that room, how loud was the voice?
That feels
I
crazy to
understand
me.
Ohio State's better than
Because they've been good every season.
It didn't come out that way.
Kirby
And how
Smart's
much
on
of a
the screen.
discussion was it that maybe some in the room felt like the Buckeyes were better?
Yeah, our goal in that room is to beat it around the best we can. There's 13 of us in there using our football judgment.
All right.
And
We're going to be waiting forever for these rankings to come out. I think now's a good time to end this. We appreciate you guys watching, tuning in to react to the rankings with us. The rankings turned out like how we thought they should. One Georgia, 2 Michigan, 3 TCU, and 4 Ohio State. What should have happened did happen. The committee got it right. Committee's done some wild things before, but they got this one right. TCU should have stayed at 3 like they did. The rest of the rankings will come out. I think those are irrelevant. They're just, they just look good at the end of the year. This doesn't really matter. So we appreciate you guys watching. We will be back on regular schedule on Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll figure that out. We appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys whenever this week.